Come on in, welcome to my home. If you haven't seen my last video, yeah, I'm still a little under the weather. My voice is sounding better, but it's time for my July favorites, and oddly enough, two of my July favorites this time really helped me feel better this month, and let's jump into them. My two favorites this month that helped me feel better were my humidifiers. These are Cool Mist humidifiers. They were wonderful, and they have some really cool features. Let's talk about them. The first one is the JOYBEAR Air Humidifier. This is one of the cutest humidifiers. It's usually used for children, but what I loved about it is, one, it was small, and I mean very small. It could hold enough that it kept the room humidified for, I left it running probably about 6 hours at a time and had no problem with it running out of water. And it has some cool features. It has a lovely little night light, but it also has this cool, like, I don't know what you would call it. It's like this rotating light that can shine a pattern in the room. It's actually, if you can get it in a larger room, I have found that generally once it spreads out too far you can't really see the pattern all that well, but it does give you some nice light stars and that sort of thing. So for a kid's room this would be really nice. The Cool Mist does work, and oh wow, did it really help my sinuses. This is being filmed a week after the Canadian fires smoke hit the Midwest, and that's where I am, and when it hit hard. My sinuses just went crazy, so I had to take sinus medicine, which then dried out my sinuses, which meant I needed humidity in my house, and guess what? That worked. The humidifier was just really nice. It was quiet. It would run. Most of the time I ran it at night, so I really didn't use the night light function or the beautiful rotating light function. Those are two really cool things, and it works really well. What I love about this is that you can use a USB-C, I do believe, that charges it, and then you can charge it up and then put it anywhere. I did find that it did not, as most humidifiers do, produce lots of water or splash or whatever you want to call it, humidity. Yeah, I guess we'd call it humidity. That would then make your, whatever you set it on, damp or ruin it if it were wood. I had no problem whatsoever with that with this humidifier. It was really cool. Let's go on to our second one. Our second one is also really cool. Our second one is the Rain Cloud Humidifier Water Drip. Now, this one was twofold. Okay, so as a humidifier, does it work? I think so. I think it really does, because it has this really cool, like, mist ability. You don't really see that too much, but it's there. But the rain cloud, the water drip part of it, I think that just as a humidifier, it's great. It's wonderful. But it is so soothing to just fall asleep listening to the sound of water. I mean, that was the most wonderful thing. Now, this one uses a USB-C cord, and you just plug it in and then go. It has the ability to change color. You can also change the intensity of the water. You can have a heavy water droplets, or you can have light. I personally didn't really see too much difference in the two, or hear too much difference in the two, but like I said, I was sick. I was super sick. And these just helped me amazingly. So when I ran it, this one can run all night, and I did. I ran it all night from about 11 p.m. till about 7 p.m. It did not dry up. It gave me all the humidity that I want. In fact, in the morning when I woke up, there was still water in the reservoir. This one is slightly harder to clean simply because the clear tank lid on it does not come off. There's no way to get that thing off without doing some surgical thing that I have found, but it does come with items that you can then help you to use to clean it out. It even has things that you can then use to clean out the water droplets area where the water comes through. I just love this. Now you can use this with tap water, you could also use it with bottled water. It would just be great. I can honestly say, fell asleep with this thing so many times and it was so helpful. The electric cleaning brush. Now, this cleaning brush, I'm going to tell you, I tried it a couple different ways. I have found that if you are doing things like small things by hand, it was much easier just to clean it with a rag, I felt, than it was to use the cleaning brush. The cleaning brush is really cool. It is rechargeable. It does use a USB-C cord to charge it up. It talks to you.
Power ready. Please roast the medium high heat.
So when you turn it on, it tells you what level it's at. It tells you what strength you are at. If you are at a medium, if you're at a low, medium, or high. I'm on high strength. Hold on to it. It rotates and it cleans really well. I've found that putting the attachment on, I could clean my shower, bathtub area in no time, simply because you're not crawling down on the ground. It is wonderful to do that. It has many different attachments, everything from a soft wool cloth to a scrubbing attachment. They all work really well, but like I said, I personally picked it out so that I could use it to clean out my bathtub. Clean out, I guess? Yeah, I guess you'd use that word. To clean the bathtub. It's great. It's wonderful. It works really well. It doesn't take that long to clean, and it doesn't take up that much space. In fact, I can hide it in my bathroom without any problem. I do suggest that you hang it up so that the bristles of the brush are not flat on the floor, thus condensing the brush, or if you have the brush still in it all the time. Yeah, and it's ready to go. Just keep it charged. To charge it, you do remove it from the pole, you stick in the USB cord, and then it charges. That is handy. I mean, that is super handy. I think you're really going to like this because it takes the scrubbing out of everything. So that's good. Let's talk about the Huckberry Whiskey Peaks Denali Decanter. This is one of the most beautiful decanters I have ever seen. I haven't even filled it up with anything. It is just so clear, so pretty, and there's a mountain range in the middle of it. It looks so cool. I mean, absolutely, this is the star of my decanters. And like I said, I haven't even filled it up, and it just looks beautiful. When I do fill it, I'm sure I'm going to fill it with a clear liquid so that way you can see it. But even when it's not filled, it is just really nice. It holds 54 ounces of liquids, so it just is amazing. And I was like, this really is a piece of art. It's not something that you're going to want to hide away somewhere. It just looks so pretty. I think you're going to really like this, and you're probably going to use it simply because it just is really nice. It comes with a stopper. The stopper is a clear glass. Oh my gosh, I love it. I can honestly say I love this thing. Let's talk decorations. When I decorate my house, my whole goal right now is to have my house feel like I'm living in like a greenhouse or a jungle or something along those lines. So what I have been doing is I have been taking artificial plant branches and using them to decorate. In fact, back here, I did that a little arrangement that's up there as one of those things, just taking the artificial branches and putting them in places. And while that's nice, I thought the biggest impact is using the larger branches. One of my favorites is the artificial ficus branches. The ficus branches, I have them in my bathroom, the main bathroom, and also in the guest bathroom. They look absolutely gorgeous. They look so pretty. They're really nice. And I mean, they give this a nice jungly kind of feel to it. I did that in the guest bathroom and I did that in my bathroom. It just looks like they are branches sitting in a vase. I did use brown floral tape to take several branches and combine them into one and hold them in the place that I wanted them to get that look so they are stacked upon each other. If you want to see how I do that, let me know down in the comments and I can show you how I arrange the branches so I can get that really full, tall look. And I love this. I mean, you might not like this, but to me it is absolutely cool. And I also did this with olive branches, and the olive branches do have olives on this. I think it gives it a nice sort of, the green contrasting with the dark olives, which by the way, the olives would not look like that. Ripe olives are, I do believe, yeah, ripe olives are black, unripe olives are green. I think that's right, yeah. So yeah, those are really cool. I think it just gives this nice cool touch. And I also did this with a large fake fern. The fern is just sitting there in a basket right by my TV. It's between a stand and the wall, and it just gives me a nice feeling of plants. And I love plants. You know that I love plants. And speaking of plants, one of the coolest things that I got was a plant stand. This plant stand, I will warn you going into this plant stand can be finicky to put together. It comes with a lot, and I mean a lot of pieces. Each one of the uprights is its own separate piece. Each one of the pieces that hook them together, and then the shelves, I guess you would call them, were their own piece. But once it's together, it is actually really, really sturdy. It is very nice, and it looks good. It holds a lot of plants, and it took up less room than the stand that I had there. I like it simply because it is lightweight. It went together pretty fast once you figure it out. It is one of those things where you're going to have to read the instructions, because once you figure out that the reason that they mark it up, as long as you have the up things on the attachments facing up, you're golden. You will get this together in no time. It does come with some tools, a little mallet that you can then hammer everything in together with, but it is so worth the time. I like it. Strong enough for all the plants that I have, and that makes me happy. Let's talk about my magnetic poster holder that came with a poster. I am putting this in this list with a caveat because the poster it came with, I love it. It's a dandelion. It is absolutely pretty gorgeous. The poster itself I think is worth it. The holder. The first day that I got the holder, I put it together. It is magnetic, so that means that I can change out that poster with anything. The first day that I had it, it came apart. The string came loose from the wooden piece of it. It wasn't that big of a deal. I just used some super glue, put it back there, but that is something to think about. There was no quality check to make sure that that string was actually attached, because it wasn't. It wasn't attached at all. But was this still worth it? For the poster alone, it's worth it. For the poster alone, it is absolutely worth it. The magnetic part of the poster, that means that you can then attach it to any kind of poster and then hold it up, and it will work really well. And once I got the super glue on it, strong, wonderful, it held really, really nice. Okay, so that's it for my July favorites. Like I said, those humidifiers, really, they saved me from so much pain because my sinuses dried out so bad, and they work so nice. And everything else was more like to make my house look and feel a little bit better. And I think that these things accomplish that, and that's the whole big thing. When I'm sitting in my house, I want to be happy. I want my house to bring me joy. And I think these pretty things help bring some happiness and joy to my house. And I really like them. I really liked everything that's on this list this month. If there are things that you would like me to try out, let me know. If I were to pick one overall thing, I'm going to have to pick the Cloud Rain humidifier, because it's so soothing. I mean, just to fall asleep with that sound at night was absolutely wonderful, and when I was so sick, It did. It just was so peaceful. But now that I'm much better, I feel really good. I would like to take this time to thank these wonderful people who are part of my Patreon family, and they are the ones who helped keep me going, especially last week when I was sick. They helped keep me going. They helped keep this channel going and help me go decide what direction I should go. If you want to become part of the Patreon group, or if you want to become a channel member, you can click the link, join there. You get these videos early, you get a behind the scenes weekly vlog, and access to all the fun things that I do, which some of them are quite fun. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I get to see you again next time you stop by.